into movies and toys and TV shows, comics and collecting and superheroes. There's no end to the useless stuff they know. But don't call them geeks, they're just regular Joes.
Welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
We wanted to start off the show a little different. We just lost a friend of the show, Dustin Clark, longtime listener, a friend from the Joe community. He's a Star Wars fan. He had a long fought battle with cancer, and as we record this, we just lost him yesterday. So we certainly wanted to mention him. We would email him and interact with him on Facebook. He always loved the show.
Yeah, he's been listening since the very beginning and was one of the first people to interact with us and, post comments and always had very positive things to say about the things that we're into and about our show. And we've met him, at G.I. Joe conventions and just a genuinely great guy and really sad that he, lost his battle, like as they said.
And when you say positive, it's, the thing that I think of when I think of Dustin is how amazingly positive an attitude he held. And
all the way through.
We were interacting with him just a week ago, and yeah. And
yeah, what's crazy is that we had actually planned, we're all here today together, and we had planned to call him or FaceTime with him, knowing that he had been not well again, and we were going to try to talk to him today, and as Dave mentioned, he passed yesterday,
So we want to dedicate certainly this show to him. We, again, he's a friend of the show, and we're going to miss him, and we're going to do a normal show, because that's what Dustin would have wanted to hear.
That's right.
We're going to do our same goofy... We are doing the Christmas giveaway show. Not giveaway. Not giveaway.
Gift exchange.
Gift exchange show, which will not be without controversy. So we're going to do that. So, Dustin, we are thinking about you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
Godspeed.
Before we get into the aforementioned controversial gift exchange, let's talk Mandalorian episode 8,
okay.
Which was just last night. We were recording this Saturday.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on in that episode.
It certainly was, and it was the longest episode I think we've gotten.
Yeah.
And they jam-packed a lot in there.
They did.
Yeah. If you were going to pick like one moment when you just like said, "Wow," or "Holy crap," or whatever, what would you just like? One maybe it doesn't have to be the most significant.
The thing that made me happiest
well,
was seeing IG-11 riding that speeder bike.
I gotta say, a part of me is like, okay, IG's back, and he spoilers, he doesn't make it out of this episode, but
he does good.
But he really,
swinging.
him zooming by. Although I love that, but the speeder bike troopers, was
freaking fantastic. The opening sequence, the pre-title screen sequence with the two speeder bike guys. You got to go back to like Kevin Rubio's Troops to get.
You never hear them speak like
that. To get two stormtroopers just talking real.
Well,
like it
and
really is.
Both of them trying to take target practice or something and missing every single shot.
Okay, that was the best. They're bored. They're sitting in their bikes. They're taking target practice at like a cactus, and neither of them can hit it. And they're like tapping on the guns. And,
and one of them shakes the blaster, and it shakes like a rattle can of paint.
It's just like
supposedly that's. I think I read that's Jason Sudeikis.
It is.
Yeah.
It's Jason Sudeikis.
I hope he was in a costume, which would be awesome, but he may just be the voice.
Might just be the voice, but in any case, that was really funny.
It's so
and it went on, and I was waiting for them to end that scene, and it felt like it went on forever. But it was so funny.
But you really, not only was it funny, but you just got a sense of like, these guys are stormtroopers. They don't.
Well, but these are guys are stormtroopers that may or may not be getting paid anymore. This is like it's just. It was great.
Well, and every time they go on the radio, they're like finding out that the Moff back at the place is killing people. Wait, he killed his own troops?
He's killing his own troops. And this is just like, these guys are basically living minute to minute since the collapse of the Empire.
That, and then the fact that one of them's got Baby Yoda in a bag, And
keep
the other guy
punching
just
it.
wants to see it, and he won't let him see it.
He
And he
won't
keeps
see it, but
punching
he's
it.
also punching it. It's like
And then when
every
it bites the guy's finger, and
it bites the guy's. Oh, right, so good.
that whole opening sequence was great.
Yeah, but it shows what. Again, they can be fun. They can have fun with this show. They can be funny with it, but also it's just this episode really delivered. I'll tell you, one of the things that I think was neat that they slipped in there was that Cara Dune is from Alderaan.
Yeah.
I just think here's this person with just this hatred for the Empire.
Yeah.
Okay, not just like when you're on the winning side, you don't necessarily retain this kind of hate, the kind of hatred that she displays. This explains it. I mean, they killed every single person she knows.
Yep.
And she really was from Alderaan. She wasn't adopted to that planet.
Yeah, they threw a lot. I mean, we got the Mandalorian's name, which I don't know.
I don't remember off the top of my head, but yes, they gave him a name, and we saw his face.
Yeah, which was crazy.
Yeah.
And I liked that they used that loophole of that IG's not
I'm
alive.
Yeah, he's not a living thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was cool. That
I didn't quite understand why the Moff was like, "I'll give you till sundown."
Yeah, that was
a little weird.
You know, I wonder if that goes back to the sort of spaghetti westerns, or sort of the bad guy sort of setting on more of a attractive.
Okay,
Like, it's
I
killing
think
somebody.
he wanted to. My take on that was he wanted to confirm that Baby Yoda was in their hands before they killed the only 3 people that knew where.
Right, and
what,
I also
what the
felt
deal
like
was.
he
Because-
needed them to get to the baby.
But he was also trusting the word of 2 stormtroopers who we saw, biker scouts, who were not the most reliable people in the world,
Right.
to say that they had it. They could get back and have a stuffed animal for all we know, because they didn't even know what they were looking for.
Right.
So I think
They thought it was a pet.
I think until he confirmed that he
I'll
had
give
it
you
in
that.
hand, that was the thing. The other thing that got me though is him standing front and center with no cover whatsoever.
Yeah.
You can
Well,
kick it
well
out
they've
any
got.
time.
She at least has a heavy weapon in there. Okay, and it's
But
like,
that just shows the Imperials just sort of way overconfident.
how about him walking out during the battle,
Yeah.
calmly walking into the battle and
Yep.
shooting the Mandalorian in the back?
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
Now, have we heard this guy's name anywhere? This Moff
It's
Gideon?
Moff. No.
No.
I've never heard
Yeah.
Moff
Yeah.
Gideon before, but
Yeah.
clearly he's badass. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, he's got no problem, as you said, walking out into the middle of it. Didn't even look like he was breaking a sweat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this show you that there is definitely parts of the Empire like we always thought. It's just not one battle doesn't just end the whole.
Oh, it didn't
scenario.
go away. I mean, this is also, it's like after World War II. It took a long time to mop everything up till communications got out there. Imagine that, spread that out into a galaxy. I mean, this is not unlike they're finding Japanese soldiers in islands years afterwards. Some of these troops may not have been told because I can't imagine the Empire was really big about sharing that they just got their ass kicked.
Right.
So, yeah.
But does it make sense? I think it does. Just no one knows what the Force is. It seems like in this day and age. I mean, the reality of how far back the Force the Jedi sort of reigned 30 years ago.
But how many of them were there ever? Okay, and this is the thing. It's like, we had in our heads that there was at one time we were thinking armies of Jedi.
There were thousands
and
of
then they
Jedi.
reined it in. But it was declining, and and it got to the point where I think there was probably a whole lot of people, even 30 years earlier, who never saw a Jedi. Heard about them, but never saw them.
But when you think about it, there's however many Jedi there are or were, and there's a handful of Sith, and other than that, most people have probably never even.
And this is what I'm
heard of the
saying.
Force.
And it's so it's kind of, either you encountered one or you heard stories and stuff like that. But the notion of how their powers worked, I don't imagine that was widely known.
Although little Anakin on the desert in Tatooine, when he saw Qui-Gon's lightsaber, said, "You're a Jedi."
Yeah.
He knew.
But again, because there were legends, and that was even earlier.
Right.
Okay, but it was
It seemed,
Right, but
and
even
again,
by the time of The
But he
Force
didn't-
Awakens, they were not even sure if it was real or if it was
and
folklore.
part of this though, I think is think about this. This is 20. They had Luke's lifespan. Okay. Between the time he was born to essentially when Star Wars happened, of the Empire putting out disinformation saying that they were the Jedi betrayed people. They were this. They were that.
Right.
They were never what they claimed to be. It was all
Well, and
mysticism.
Darth Vader was an enforcer for the Empire, but people probably didn't think of him
what I'm
as
saying
using the Force.
is they basically had their fake news machine saying, "Oh, this was never what you thought it was. It was this. It was that," and just tear down that reputation. So, yeah, I think that I think they're at a point where,
and they're sort of in a backwater,
and they're in a backwater where I think there's very little understanding.
And I'll say this: as happy as I am with 2 of the 3 movies in the new,
mark that on your notes, people, because as we mentioned in the last episode where we talked about the Rise of Skywalker, I went back and listened to episode 219. Go listen to episode 219. Barry was. We were driving to Long Island. Was it Christmas Eve? It must have been.
Yeah.
Because I'm listening to it while Pam's driving, and I'm like, quote from Barry. I'm just really shocked. We weren't gonna. I thought we'd have a great conversation about how awesome this movie is.
As I was about to say, as much as I like 2 of the movies in the trilogy, and I really liked Rogue One, and I really liked Solo, I think Mandalorian is my favorite Star Wars thing to come out of the Disney era.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm not to say it's all
it
good.
Was 8 consistent episodes to me.
I'm happy. It's
I
good.
think it was 8 consistent
There's
episodes. But
7
it was
good
pretty
ones.
close.
No, they're all good. It's good.
Yeah, I would say everything was above.
There's no Last Jedi in there.
No, there's no Last.
No. There's not even Attack of the Clones.
No,
there's
there's
not even a Return of the Jedi in there.
No.
Maybe. No, it's all good. I'm happy. Right.
And Jon Favreau announced yesterday,
Yes.
with a very odd-looking maquette of a naked Gamorrean guard, practically.
He has a
naked.
loincloth on.
Oh, he has a loincloth on. He's saying that they will be back for season 2 in fall of 2020.
Which is when they started this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's very exciting. So
again, they met and exceeded expectations. I think it was just terrific, and I was a little. I guess I was a little worried about the premise to begin with, but I actually
we didn't know where they were going.
No,
Yeah.
but it was like they talked about the Western thing and stuff like this, and I thought just like bounty hunter going one thing to the next to the next to the next. Then I honestly think adding in the element of with the child was really, really clever.
Well, they went back. So when I read an article, I don't remember what article it was, but I'm trying to think what the. So there were Westerns who influenced Japanese movies, which then influenced new Westerns. So there's this cycle.
Yeah.
So there's this whole series called Wolf and Cub, I think it is.
Yeah. Lone Wolf and Cub.
That is very much this whole warrior with taking care of a child. That was sort of influenced by John Ford Westerns. I think that's sort of Akira Kurosawa era. So it's this whole thing. Westerns influence Japanese, which influenced spaghetti Westerns, which now influence the Mandalorian and other stuff, obviously, Star Wars. So it's really full circle. I mean, it's definitely of that era. They really went back to that kind of stuff. That was sort of the influence of the original Star Wars, which is cool.
And like I said, it worked. They made it work. They had, it's clever. They figured out how to get the Carl Weathers character back in the fold. Obviously, we're going to see more of Cara Dune at some point.
Yeah, unfortunately, Huguenot guy is dead.
Yeah, Queel. I was sorry to see that character go.
I was on the fence of whether he was going to be alive still.
Yeah, when they confirmed that he died, I thought that meant we would see IG-11 move forward. But
yeah, there's got to be consequences, and that's the thing is if everything if the board is clear at the end and everybody's back alive again, it's not. It doesn't seem realistic for the world that he lives in, and I think this was good. I think also the Mandalorians having paid a cost.
A big cost. I mean, they wiped almost all of them out.
Yeah. Well, they said that some, it's hard to say what, but still, and having the Mandalorian priestess, when she went to work on those stormtroopers.
Oh my god, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever seen stormtrooper armor shatter.
Yeah,
before,
not like that. No.
And it was just, of course, it's also probably brittle at this point, but just that was just crazy. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was good. I was glad. I thought it could have gone either way. They could have taken her out, but I'm glad she was sort of.
And that was the thing. Is it seemed like, it seemed like it was purposeful. I love just the little thing, but I love when Carl Weathers tries to get him. It says that to have the child do the hand thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does it.
The baby waves at he gestures and then the baby waves at him. You know,
But then when he took the flamethrower trooper's fire and sort of held it and then forced it back at him, that was awesome.
yeah. And it's also good that, like I said, for a child his age, that doing something like that knocks him out.
Because it's interesting. They're not relying on he's going to heal all wounds stuff, because he could have either stopped that.
I was waiting for him to heal the Mandalorian.
Yeah, but you wonder, it's not good that they just rely on that all the time.
Yeah.
Back to spray.
That was convenient.
No, it was good.
Hey, he was a nurse droid. They made him a nurse droid, so why wouldn't he have that?
Do you think? I'm wondering if it's one of these cases where, oh my God, IG-11's my favorite character. Why do you get rid of? We see IG-22?
I don't know. I'd be surprised. I think they got their. They worked it through the course of this season. I think we're going to see different things in the next season.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping that when they finally release the final production photos of IG-11, that he has the backpack with the Yoda.
Oh yeah.
That would be so cool.
That would be very cool. That would be a place to do it too, because
they're not going to make another version of him.
You're going to buy the Mandalorian anyways.
Yeah.
But this would be I also think their availability of having the Tiki with Tiki
the dude
to do the voice is probably not a constant. So,
probably not.
So yeah.
He directed this episode.
He did, but he also voiced it in the 3 episodes.
Yeah.
So
no, good all around. I mean, it's they finished very strong, which is good.
Yeah.
I
gotta say it's I couldn't imagine it being better than it was, and there were a few little things that were little rough bumps, but boy, on the whole, they pulled it together really well. Jon Favreau is responsible for 2 universes. I mean, this is,
and that's why we are making custom pops of him.
We are
because not that pops are the way to go, but that's the easiest thing to make.
That's right.
Well, we had talked weeks ago about wanting to have a sort of a collection of pops of directors that we like, and they don't make one of Jon Favreau.
And
so
it's easier to do than Hot Toys for sure.
That's right.
Yeah.
So here you sit about 2.5 months ago, where you're like, I'm really on the fence of Star Wars. I don't know what I think. Now you're feeling much more.
I do. I mean, I will say that the movie is more relief than I have more relief about the movie than enthusiasm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I feel very, very pleased with how they ended it, but it's like I'm very kind of tentative now about where they go with this. Again, this is the problem that they face right now is they need to figure out where to go forward with this universe or not. Either we will never see anything beyond this, and they're going to go to backstories, which is much safer. But they've got to somehow figure out where to move forward without cheapening it or going to the same freaking story.
Bob Iger was in the press this week saying, we're just getting started with Star Wars.
Yeah, but
they're in a better
easy to
place
say.
than they were after Solo. Solo was a tough time for them.
Right, but it's also easy to say coming off the premiere of this movie and how well received The Mandalorian has been.
But again, in terms of where, like I said, this is everything in this universe has been predicated on the rise of the Empire and combating some super weapon. And they've got to figure out how to tell other kinds of stories moving forward without those two MacGuffins. And we'll see what they do. I think there's a lot of other stories out there. I don't know if they're movie scale, or maybe, like I said, maybe it's all backstory. We'll have to see.
We'll see. But I think I'm glad we're in a good. I did like Solo too, but if this movie was bad,
I like Solo, and I would have loved to have seen where they went with a follow up to it, but I don't necessarily want the future Star Wars to be all filling in the blanks about characters we already know.
Yeah, I would really the characters in the Rise of Skywalker, the new trilogy. It's very much sort of James Bond. Like the problem with the current James Bond is he's getting started. Then you just want to see him be James Bond. The good thing we had about the Sean Connery James Bond and even the Roger Moore James Bond, which he was enveloped in his character and being just go out and do missions. All we've got now is set up, answer what's the question? And we figured it out. I would love to see a movie with Rey being a Jedi or something. You know, I hate to not see more of these characters. I mean, just them doing something.
And I think we
cool.
will. Although there was something in the press like the week the movie came out where I think it was Daisy Ridley said she was done playing Rey or something. But
that means nothing.
You can say a lot. I mean, look, Daniel Craig said he was never going to make another Bond movie, and here he is making another Bond movie. So
it all comes down to zeros. Yeah,
definitive statements like that are.
But
ridiculous.
It would be interesting if they just come up with the right.
Give it
thing.
3 or 4 years and make another movie, and I think people would be thrilled to go see it.
Yeah, I feel like I have not seen this movie the second time. This is the most I've I need to see this movie again. I mean, certainly not the last one, but even Force Awakens, I've saw maybe twice in the theaters. I was not. I'm really looking forward. I mean, that we said that's a dense movie. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. There is, and I've seen it twice now, and I still feel like, I want to watch it again. And I'll probably wait to watch it at home at this point, but I want to watch it and really be able to pick it apart because I feel like the first time it was just you don't know what's going to happen, and you're just so excited to see what happens next. The second time was only 3 days later, so I did sort of was able to take a deep breath and go, all right, I know it doesn't suck now. I'm try to enjoy it. Yeah. But I would like to be able to really, watch it multiple times and rewind things and look at things and dig in deeper.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Let's move to gift exchange. How do we do this normally? Anybody?
There's no normal. I mean, do you want to go first with me? Because
I'm going to go
story? First. The story wasn't on the show, was it? We talked about it after?
I think we
did. No, we talked about it last week.
No, we didn't.
I don't think we did. I
think I got up before Brian came on.
Oh, you wrapped it? Oh my god! All right, that's funny.
Hold on.
Do you see the wrapping paper?
I did. He showed it to me. I'll tell the story where there's... So, Todd bought Barry the Black Series Luke Jedi X-Wing helmet that he did not own.
That we specifically talked about his not owning.
So, after he saw the movie on Thursday, we got... The episode you heard is not the first. We had to get on the air to talk about it. We weren't planning on recording until Monday when we did the episode you heard, which is the previous one to this. And we're I'm driving home from the movie. It's 11 o'clock. We got to talk about this. So we did get on Skype and we recorded it, but we're not going to release it probably. But Barry's I had to buy something. I bought the Black Series helmet. And Todd's oh my God.
And it's only because Ray was wearing it in the movie.
So it wasn't even just that he bought the helmet. It was just I was oh God, he bought the helmet. And then he incessantly posted pictures. He posted pictures of the inside of the helmet. He posted videos of him talking in the helmet. He posted pictures. It was and I'm just, every time he posted a picture, I'd send the thing to Dave I can't freaking believe this. It was I'm going to strangle him. And finally, I knew you put it on when we were recording, and I just said, screw this. And I opened the box and I put the helmet on. And he said, oh, you have one too? I says, no, you have two of them. So.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. But now it is wrapped.
It's wrapped in wrapping paper that Todd made. Pictures of me wearing a helmet.
Yeah, so I spent more time wrapping this gift than any in my lifetime, I think. But yeah, I made wrapping paper with it.
How do we do an Instagram story? I would do a story about this.
I almost don't want to open it.
Wrapping paper. You don't have to be in a rush to it.
I know it's in there, but
so you know what's in there.
You know I appreciate it very much, and we do kind of have a rule about not buying gifts for ourselves.
We kind of do. It's not so much kinda. We've talked about this many times.
I have a rule in my house of you don't buy yourself stuff before Christmas.
I know.
Yeah, I'm posting a picture live right now.
Technically, everything's before Christmas. And Barry, so just this is the other part of your gift. This is a can of primer, so you can make your second helmet into any helmet that you could possibly want.
That's excellent. So this wrapping paper is fantastic.
Yeah. So it's there you go, model primer to take it to your next project.
Post a picture of the wrapping paper.
So
I just posted posting a picture live.
Well, thank you, Todd. You know I appreciate it.
So yeah. So
Okay, whatever. Go ahead.
Okay.
You gotta just keep
So
talking.
yours is in a couple of parts because so do that
Is
one.
that- oh.
This is something that
Why don't you put some tags on there?
I told you should buy for yourself, but you didn't.
Oh,
because I feel there's one thing that is not represented in your office that I
Spider-Man.
think should have been. And this one's kind of
Oh,
cool.
an artifact Spider-Man model. Excellent.
He's
nice.
got
Kotobukiya.
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 He's got magnets on his feet. And
Oh,
his hand.
really?
So I figured you could put him on a light or a frame
Oh, that
or
would be
something like
cool.
that, and have him.
And he's 1/10 scale like everybody else. Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome.
So,
Thank you very much.
yep.
Should I open that or
Go ahead and open it.
We want to. Don't want dead air here. Oh, sorry. There's dead air.
That's okay.
We're cutting things open.
Okay.
Yeah, dead air is okay when we're opening gifts.
Yeah. So
These boxes are big for these things.
they
right?
are. Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. I do not have enough Spider-Mans in my.
Yeah, well, and he's kind of classic Spider-Man.
And this is
so you can
probably
either put him on the metal
metallic thing,
base,
yeah.
or like I said, you can put him. You can put him on the
Oh,
things
thank
too.
you. I love
So,
that. I
anyways,
will,
okay.
I will do
So,
that. I'm
so here's
opening
your
part number 2.
annual book.
Use a lot of tape. I have to give you guys a lesson in gift wrapping. But it's very nicely done.
Do you have that?
Oh, I do not have this. Oh, this is awesome. It's the Hayes Apollo 11 sort of the owner manual, workshop manual. That's very cool. I do
Okay.
not have that at all. Oh, and it's all the way through 2019.
It just came out. It's
that's
a new
a cool book.
It's a new edition, and I thought maybe you might have had the old one.
No, I do
Yeah,
not. This is awesome. Thank
seems
you.
pretty cool.
Very cool.
And then this is the last thing. Yeah. So this is actually. I went after after we did the drinking show with the Crystal Skull. I went to. I was going to buy you that Alien Head vodka that I had.
Oh yeah,
I thought you'd like it. It was gone. And they said they would not be reordering it.
Oh really?
And but this is kind of cool. This is from a friend of mine who has a brewery, and this year they started distilling or releasing things they had
look at
distilled.
that.
And
Oh,
so
wow.
that's from their first round. That's from the first round of vodka.
This is vodka in a what is this?
Giant beaker.
It's not a beaker. It's
a
flask. It's a
flask. Yeah,
like a.
so
that's
it's
awesome.
from Element Brewery, and they're in Millers Falls, Massachusetts, right next to me, and it's a good friend of mine. And
Hatfield, Massachusetts potatoes.
Yep. And so, anyways, this is their first.
That's
I
very
got.
cool.
And it looks like a piece of scientific equipment.
and
which
it
is
looks
cool.
like
Totally does.
it's their theme, and it's the science of brewing.
Oh, I like that.
I can't attest to how good it is because, like I said, it's their first round, and then I got the rum myself for Christmas.
Oh, they
so,
make different things.
Yeah,
and what's
yeah.
the rum? The same model.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
That's
awesome.
very cool.
Yeah, so
We'll post pictures of this stuff
Yeah.
at some point.
All right, so I want to give you both something,
Okay.
and I'm a little nervous seeing the shape of something over there, and I'm hoping that there is in no way duplication of gifts here. But
okay.
both of you open these at the same time.
Oh no, this is. I can tell you, this is not what those. are.
Okay, good. They're ripping the paper.
We're ripping the paper.
So no commentary on Barry's tape.
There is no commentary needed on these gifts. When you see them, you will know.
No, I meant on Barry's tape.
Oh, my wrapping job.
Oh, I got.
Oh no, his is too much tape.
I-
you never tape to the box. Wait, am I opening at the same time?
Hurry up! You gotta catch up.
There's shirts that say, "Oh my God, this is the best shirt I've ever seen in my
This
life."
is awesome.
And I got one for me too.
Oh,
that is.
It's a shirt that says Ryan Johnson sucks.
In the Star Wars font.
that is epic.
Did you have these made?
I did not. Believe it or not, these are available on the internet.
That is,
Oh my God!
And I
that's the
paid
best.
extra for the soft cotton because I know how you guys like your
Yes,
soft
yep.
t-shirts.
Oh my God, that's the best.
that
Put
is.
it on over this.
Yes, I bought those and I just said, God, I hope I'm not the only one that had this thought.
I've
about
never
these
seen
shirts."
these. Are you kidding me?
We'll have to take a picture of those and post those too.
Yeah, I mean, that is nice.
Yeah, I'm
Nice.
wearing mine under my sweater.
Yeah, that's
Oh my
that's
God,
epic.
that is the best.
Well done. Well done.
Excellent.
Your phone's locked, so I can't do
Oh,
Yeah. So
did you post that thing?
I did, yeah, I posted the other
Yeah.
one.
I'm so stupid. His hashtag was "I'm so stupid." That's awesome. Oh my god,
All
that's
right,
great.
so you got those now. I've got something for each of you besides those. This is for Dave.
We're not easy to buy for.
No, you're not.
But this is the gift.
This is
I
the
thought-
gift that keeps on giving.
Yes.
I thought you guys would
Absolutely.
appreciate that. I was just hoping that nobody else did it.
I'd never seen this, and in the store, I would have made these.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
No, that is great. Yeah, and it's the title font too.
It is.
awesome.
That's the best.
They also had the Fire Kathleen Kennedy T-shirts. but I
Oh,
thought
this is
nice.
better.
these were more appropriate.
Ooh, oh my God! Look
You
at
like
this.
that?
So this is a.
It's a scarf.
It's
It is a
scarf.
scarf. I
Yeah.
was thinking it was an ugly sweater.
No, it's a scarf.
Oh, this is great.
It's
so
a
it is.
Star Trek scarf.
It is a Star Trek scarf with the oh, they got engineering on there too.
Yeah, it's
so
all the
with,
different
with the different logos. Oh, that is so.
I've never
cool.
seen that either.
Space.
You
the
guys are
final
not easy to
frontier.
buy for. I went to the ends of the internet.
No,
for
we
you
are
guys.
not. We are not easy to buy
Look
for.
at that.
Oh, look at that! That is so cool. That is nice. You know, it's got a kind of cool
And
pattern to
and
it.
Someone
It almost
really
looks
know
like
what it is.
It almost looks like African.
I
or
was just
something.
saying,
yeah.
I was going to say African.
It does. It's like that is
They
nice.
make a matching beanie. So if
Okay.
you want the beanie,
okay.
I
I'm not a
can.
big beanie guy.
Yeah,
but
I knew you liked scarves.
This is
so.
really cool. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Barry. That's great.
Okay, I'm opening something. I'm wrapping paper.
I'm hoping you don't have this already.
Do I have? I don't have this. No, I
That
do
was
not.
the book that we went to the panel at Star Wars Celebration.
Oh no.
And the
This
head
is
of
the,
ILM.
making Solo. Todd wouldn't have appreciated
Yeah,
it.
didn't nobody just
But
gift.
when we went to that panel and we saw this guy talk for an hour, I
Yeah,
thought that,
no, this is awesome. I do not have this. Oh, I like how they gave all the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
This is great. No,
no, it
thank
looked like
you.
a good book. So
Now, has this been? Have you been through the book?
no, honestly,
Okay.
I got
So,
it
is
and I
there any
wrapped it.
reference to like that would be an interesting. I would be more interested in the story of making that movie than the movie itself.
Yeah.
This is a lot of stories.
You know what's interesting? You know how the art of books usually come
Yeah.
out? They push the art of this new movie back.
I know.
So, like,
I
April.
ordered it for you.
Did you?
And I'm like, it's going to get here on the 20th. Perfect. And then they send me a notification.
And I
Not till
heard that the
March.
reason that they pushed it back was that there's something in there, a quote that's attributed to JJ that when he saw it, he said, "I never said that,"
Really?
and that they're having to reprint the book.
That's interesting. That's not till March, so I did.
Yeah.
I canceled that order because I was like, that's not going to help me.
Well, I'm glad you didn't have that.
No,
already.
yeah,
I knew you wouldn't have the scarf, but that wasn't.
No,
sure
this
about
is
the book.
fantastic. That is excellent.
yeah. I am concerned about two. You each have two things. One, I'm concerned you have. The other, I'm concerned. I know you don't have. That's for Todd.
Wow.
I do have Amazon gift certificate cards or gift receipts for everything.
Okay.
Do you have that?
I thought about getting this for you. I
Really?
don't have this.
You
I
don't?
do not have this.
I'm
No, I
surprised.
seriously thought about getting this for you, and I worried it'd be too much like that other book,
This
you know,
thing's
Batman book you bought
very
last year.
comprehensive.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I looked at an open copy of this in Barnes and Noble a couple weeks ago. Oh, that's fantastic. This is something I would have bought for myself just a few weeks ago if I was that guy.
Right. If you were me,
So this is
Oh, this is great.
Batman, the
The definitive history of the dark, and it's kind of like an archive edition. There's like
I haven't looked at it.
Oh yeah,
That's-
no, it's like there's letters and stuff in it, and there's
Yeah, yeah.
fold out things.
It's
and
a big
It's a
book.
beautiful, beautiful book. And I hemmed and hawed about this for you because there's stuff about the '66 series.
Yeah.
It covers the whole range of the Batman series.
glad you
every
don't have
incarnation.
Oh, that's cool.
That is really cool. Thank you, Dave. That's
I am not as confident with this
okay.
for Barry. It's good. It's got a lot of stuff.
I do not have this.
You don't?
I don't. I bought this as
How
a gift.
did I
I
know
bought it
you
as a
were
gift
showing
for somebody
me
else.
all it out.
You were
on
showing
the
it
show.
the other
So
day,
that's
and we were
the-
like,
the
I did
visual
it again.
dictionary of
It's
the
like,
rise of
No, I
Skywalker.
bought it for somebody as a gift,
Well,
but I didn't buy it for me.
When you pulled it out on the show, we're like, Jesus Christ, this guy got this too?
And I, you know what? Honestly, I didn't even look through it,
Really?
So-
I haven't looked through it either. 'cause
and I don't
wanted-
have this either.
You don't have that?
No,
Because
you
I'm-
almost got this. I almost bought this for you for Christmas.
When we were at Celebration, We looked at the
Yep.
special edition for like $400. And
Yep.
you said you didn't have it yet, but
Nope.
you didn't get that.
No, it's funny because when
Wow.
when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to get you, I almost bought you this book, and then when I saw the other one, I said, "Well, we were at that panel. That's more."
That's a miracle that we all don't have.
So
any
what
of the
Dave
stuff
got
we
me here is the Rise of Skywalker Visual Dictionary and the Icons Han Solo book,
Oh,
which
that's cool.
covers his whole history.
Yeah, I'm gonna order that the visual dictionary.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
like I said, usually when I bought this for Mike, I thought I would just buy 2, but I said it's too close to
I
Christmas.
thought you would have asked for it for Christmas.
I
didn't
might
know-
have had it on my list and Maria didn't buy it, so this is great.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Okay.
No, score.
Awesome.
So far I'm the only loser that bought my
Yeah,
own.
pretty much.
Well, we knew
my
that
own
already.
gift.
Oh, that's called all the different facts.
Yeah, this is great.
Oh, that
yeah.
Batman book's awesome.
This in the back of this Batman book is a separate little book inside an envelope, which is a Bob Kane script treatment for an unmade Batman movie.
Oh, wow.
So, which I've heard about but never seen.
That's
Dave,
cool.
this book is fantastic.
Okay, last thing. These are both, interestingly enough, the same exact. These are both helmets.
They look like
I saw those boxes and I was like, there's an.
Imagine if the whole time I never said that I bought both of you that helmet. This is.
Should I grab that one?
These are both the same thing. They're a little obscure, but
Okay.
Okay.
I just saw them and I'm like,
Okay.
you need those.
You like obscure?
Oh my god!
Oh, that's
Oh my god! Oh, look at on the top. Well, okay, so what? Dave got us the same ice cream maker that appears in Empire Strikes Back and in the Running of the Hoods.
It's not the same one.
Well, it's
but
very similar.
It's very close.
All we need
similar.
is like an orange jumpsuit now. We could do the running of the
Well,
hoods.
I mean, the whole I saw that, I'm like, because I was researching, I'm like, I wonder what one they used. And then this one came up, and I'm like, that looks a lot like it. But the good thing about this is, not that we're being sexist here, you both have wives that cook. So you can make ice cream with
could
that.
make
That's
ice
right,
cream.
yes.
Do you guys have ice cream makers? We
I
have
don't.
one.
We
have
I
one.
don't. I had a hand crank one years ago.
Yeah.
And
So make
And it
ice
says
cream.
right on the box, it's deliciously versatile.
It's
Okay.
versatile.
yeah, and I'm going to keep my Beskar in it. So
Totally. That's right, because we're
Well,
ordering Beskar.
I have receipts for that. If it's too stupid, but
No,
I think you
it's
could
great.
use it.
No,
also.
this is awesome. This
But
is
it
awesome.
really does look a lot like it.
Although, if I can get good enough reference, I may paint it up to look like the one in Mandalorian.
So, yeah.
I was looking at, and they're saying that the modern equivalent of what people buy is this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's awesome.
Good luck trying to find the old
Oh,
ones.
you
Yeah.
can't. That's where I was like, oh, it'd be cool to buy. I wonder if I, look in the old junk store or whatever.
That is so funny. That's awesome.
But I hear these are decent ice cream makers.
It's great.
Well, we'll
Thank
make
you.
ice cream with it,
Thank
and
you
we'll
very
run
much.
around Cloud
There you
City
go.
with it.
It's a twofer.
It's awesome.
Wow, honestly, people, it's a miracle that no one has anything. Well, other than the one thing that we gave to each other, because we're not easy to buy for.
Yeah, came close too.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Yeah, well, and it is always tough with books, too, because you never really know. We talk pretty much about everything we get to each other,
Yeah.
but you never know.
Yeah.
Well,
So.
thank you very much. I'm
Thank
glad you guys
you.
like the T-shirt.
Oh, I love the T-shirt.
This is
It's
awesome.
my favorite T-shirt ever.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
Yep.
Okay, I don't even know how long we're recording, but
It's got to be 45 minutes-ish,
that's,
maybe?
That's good enough.
Okay, so I got a question for you guys. So you get some time off between the holidays. Are you watching anything, or would you recommend anything that you're watching?
I'm finishing up the Jack Ryan, which I started before the holidays. I watched the Netflix movie 6 something, the Ryan Reynolds.
Oh,
movie.
I watched that the other night.
Yeah, it's okay, a little
Yeah,
choppy, but
it's
the
Michael
Michael
Bay
Bay,
movie.
it's totally a Michael Bay movie.
Oh, my God. I didn't know it was a Michael Bay movie.
Oh, really?
And then at the end credits, when his name comes, I'm like, well, that explains what I just saw.
Yeah. So it's called Six. What's it called?
Six Underground.
6 Underground. It's actually it's fun for a free movie. I don't know if I'd recommend it if it was in the theaters, but for a free movie, it's a total Michael Bay action nonstop.
Yeah, and it's Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan
and,
Reynolds
it's like Deadpool without the mask in a lot of scenes because he's very snarky.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it was good.
That's good.
I blasted through all of season 2 of Lost in Space.
You did.
Yeah.
I only watched the first 2 or 3 episodes.
I'm in 3 now. I'm pacing myself on Lost in Space and The Expanse.
I haven't started.
I haven't even started The Expanse yet.
So
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that. I did because I was sick last week. I blew through the whole season of The Witcher, and that was really good.
Josh watched it. My son, he said it was good.
Yeah. So
Now, what I said to Todd about Lost in Space, and I won't give anything away, but I did like season 1 a little bit more, only in the aspect of that they were really isolated and alone for most of it. Mm-hmm. And in this one, there's just a lot of other characters around, and so it's a little bit more less focused on them and their peril. But
I got to say that the thing in the second episode, reminded me a lot of like the original series, but with a crazy budget. The very elaborate means of escape that they came up with really seemed like something they do really cheesy in the series.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All they had to just mine little bottles of whatever.
Yep.
Quadriculari.
And this was just crazy elaborate and
No, I'm enjoying it. I think we may have only watched 2. I'm not sure. But that's it. I'm not really watching anything else.
there was a show on Netflix last year that I think you might have watched, Dave, called You.
I didn't watch it.
So you didn't watch it. Well, they just posted a second season of that, and I just started watching that.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But
any favorite gift that you got from someone who's not one of us?
I got 2 model kits under the Christmas tree, which was fun. One of them is an ARC 170 fighter from Attack of the Clones, which is a cool ship. The other one I specifically put on my list because I do owe somebody a build of something, Todd, that I now have the kit in my possession. So even though it was a Christmas gift to me, it will ultimately become a gift to you.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
So
awesome.
it's the B9 robot model kit. That's why I commented
really?
that you didn't start building yours yet. I now have the same kit.
Oh, wow.
So
okay, well, maybe
we should
do it together or something.
I've watched a bunch of videos on the do's and don'ts of how to assemble that thing.
Oh, really?
So.
All right, let's talk about that because
Yeah,
I haven't done it yet.
And the one I got didn't have the glass dome, but I ordered that as an add-on.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I'll have that. That's coming any day now.
Yeah, I didn't make a list this year, so I got a lot of nice clothes. Dave.
Jeez, what did I got? Mandalorian Pop.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know what I got too, which is it's a book also, but they just published a book. If you're a Rush fan, as anybody who listens to the show at this point knows I am. It's their entire touring history from their very first show all the way to their very last show. It has every tour that they ever went on, their set list, and every show, what the ticket prices were, what the attendance was,
really?
who
That's
the opening
cool.
band was, and a little blurb about the show. And I'm having a really good time going through and like highlighting all the ones that I actually went to because
that's cool.
seen Rush almost 20 times over the course of my life. So that was cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Santa got me this watch, which I'll pass around. There's a guy has a massive watch collection who also makes replicas of old watches. This is a Porsche design watch from the 70s that he made. I had seen it when I was at Grand Central watching. I was getting something fixed, and he sells it in silver and black. I got Mark the silver one and me the black one. It also, I always loved the Porsche design watch. Can't get them anymore. And I did not know this before I bought it. It's also the same watch Tom Cruise wears in Top Gun.
Oh, hey, right there.
It's got a motorcycle on the back.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I actually gave it to Mark, and I gave one to myself too.
Nice.
Very cool.
But now that it's a Tom Cruise watch, you can't go wrong with that.
No.
So anyway.
And I got a set of AirPod Pros.
Oh, I got an AirPod
and
Pro.
Dave got those too,
did.
which I know. So I'm still figuring out how they work, but
Yeah.
they're fun.
They're pretty awesome. by
Yeah.
the way. So I think that's enough. Let us know what you got, what you think of The Mandalorian, any of that stuff. I know it's not all about giving, but sure it is. We're all collectors of things.
We do that. We collect quite a bit, and it's always nice to be able to. As hard as you guys are to buy for it, it is. I do take it like as a challenge every year to say, all right,
Yeah.
well, what
Oh,
can
it's
I
a
get
challenge.
them?
It's a challenge.
All right, so I learned a lesson this year. I promise next year.
Yeah, we will discuss the rules again.
I won't be
late,
so
late
weak next year.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Merry Christmas, Happy everything else you may celebrate, and we we may record something there. What day is today?
Today's
Saturday.
Today is Saturday.
All right,
the
so
20.
There'll be an episode
28th.
next week. Too.
Yeah, there'll be
Yeah,
some more.
I think we'll record something next week, and maybe we'll do our year-end recap of 2019 and see how that
Put
goes.
some thought into that. Yeah. So
Let's hope for a great 2020.
great 2020. That's excellent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Last show of the year.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.